Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Entertaining Minds Complicated People. My name is Marcus, and today I am joined by your hosts, David
Hello.
and Harry.
Hello.
On today's episode, we will be talking about Gamescom 2021 and the digital-only events that have been happening recently. And we will be talking about the hottest lawsuit at the moment, which is Apple versus Epic Games. So, on to our first topic now, and that is Blade. The Blade film has been pushed back. So, for those that don't actually know what Blade is, just to start off, Blade was actually a movie a long time ago with Wesley Snipes in, and it's basically Blade is a vampire, like a vampire hunter. He's part vampire, part human, and he basically just goes out and kills vampires. Pretty good movies. I mean, the first one's pretty good. Second one's okay. The third one is it's not amazing. But Blade was absent from the most recent teaser that was released by Marvel about the new Phase 4 movies. And this is because Blade actually isn't going to be part of Phase 4, and the production was moved from this September to July 2022. And apparently, if the 2022 shoot works out, the movie could end up premiering in 2023. So this would be quite interesting, not gonna lie. I would love to see how they're going to reinvent Blade, if they're going to do that at all. To be completely honest, I didn't know Blade was a Marvel film until a couple months back when I was looking up Blade, and I was like, oh damn, this is actually a Marvel movie. Obviously not part of the MCU, but it's gonna be one of these things where they, like they did with Spider-Man, they're gonna have the original kind of movies, and then they're gonna have the ones that are part of the MCU. So I'd actually like to see that. I would really like to see how they're going to do Blade, whether Wesley Snipes is going to make a cameo, probably not. But yeah, basically, Blade is going to be probably released in 2023, which, again, I have no issues with them moving things back, and since this doesn't even look like it was intended to be part of Phase 4. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have seen Blade, and I don't know how, if any of you guys are excited about this. I mean, what's your thoughts on this, David?
Sorry. Yeah. So, be honest, I've not watched the Blade movies. But I know a little bit about it. As you said, he's the sort of the MCU's vampire slayer, right?
Yep.
And so I think I've seen a bunch of clips of him using his swords, and I know basically what he looks like. Basically all my knowledge of Blade comes from like Big Bang Theory, because I know they reference him a lot there. I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong here, but I think Ryan Reynolds is in one of them. Is that true?
I actually don't know. He might be. I have seen all of them, but that's going a little bit back. I'll quickly double check that.
I'm pretty sure he's in the. I'm pretty sure he's in one. He's got like the weird, like the ugly goatee, Blade Trinity, I think it's called, or
Yeah, he's in Blade Trinity.
yeah. So yeah, that's. I mean, it seems futuristic. I think, right? Would that be correct? Sort of
Mm,
like a post-apocalyptic world.
Not necessarily. It's more set kind of in modern day, but
Right.
but like what it is it's kind of like vampires to the general public. They don't really know they exist, and so it's kind of Blade's job to kind of take them out.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh.
There is some kind of futuristic stuff in there.
So I'm looking at the it seems like what's his this is gonna be a terrible name to pronounce from me here. Mahershala Ali, who is from the Luke Cage series, if you've watched that. He's in a bunch of other movies as well. Apparently he's gonna be not reprising, but sort of taking on that role, it seems. Seems like it's a fan pick between him and John Boyega.
That would be quite interesting.
Yeah, but to be honest, I've not really watched any of them, so I might have to go back, watch a couple of them, or they're going to be doing a sort of, what's it called? Sort of redo where they restart from the beginning, do a original or origin story, from
Yeah,
with
pretty
Marvel.
cool.
Yeah, because I think we talked about this before, but Morbius is being filmed with Jared Leto. Yeah, Jared Leto in the Sony universe, and he's obviously a vampire, so it's possible that this is why we're getting information on Blade. There's more proof that the Sony and MCU are going to be working a lot more together in the upcoming years.
Yeah, I mean, you made a good point there about like vampires. That like I don't think in Marvel there have actually been that many supernatural. I guess like they've all had kind of like magical powers, but they've never actually had like they've all had magical powers, but they've never really had like vampires, and they've never gone into
Yeah,
that aspect of the supernatural. I mean, you've had shapeshifters, but you haven't had werewolves. You've
it's
had
all yeah,
witches, like you had Scarlet Witch, but you haven't had the traditional witches. Although
exactly.
that's
Well, I
debatable.
mean, yeah, you could argue that in one division there are the traditional witches, but you're very correct there. Like we've already seen the sci-fi versions, sci-fi side, sorry, of the MCU. So this is, I think, going into the next couple of phases, we might be looking at a more a darker, more
Prettier.
fantasy, yeah, grittier, not fantasy. What am I talking about? Side of the MCU. Because obviously with Blade you get Moon Knight, and then obviously with Moon Knight you can get Black Widow, which introduces in Taskmaster. There's just a bunch of like knock-on effects that can like come on from it, like introducing all of these new characters, and I'd love to see it like a grittier version of the MCU, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the MCU, like a grittier MCU, would be really like interesting because they really need to kind of like change the tone of what they're doing. Because honestly, I think a lot of us are starting to feel Marvel fatigue in terms of everything starting to feel really formulaic. Like Endgame, as good as the movie was, it felt way too cliche. Like, oh, the good guys win, and oh, there's a sacrifice, and oh, like it didn't really feel like there was much original. There wasn't much originality there. There wasn't anything kind of that hadn't been done before. It was just done on a bigger scale. I think is the best way of putting it. It was hyped up, but I don't think it lived up to the hype. And then so far, the next Marvel phase has started, and it's not really gone off to a great start. WandaVision was pretty disappointing towards the end. It had a really strong start, really weak ending. It had then you had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, really start. Then you had it pick up in the middle, and then again the ending was just anticlimactic. And then next we got Loki. Loki's starting soon, if it hasn't already.
To be honest, I don't know about. I think with WandaVision, there was a lot riding on it being the first show of Disney Plus, and of course they weren't expecting it to be. They were supposed to be, I think third or something in line for the releases. So I kind of understand a little bit why it can seem disappointing. But with what's it called, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I totally agree. It had a slow start, picked up in the middle, but I think the ending was all right for a six-part TV show.
Just before we go, then, the original thing that we were talking about was Blade, and that has been delayed to the filming has been delayed till 2022, and it is likely to be released in 2023. So, on to our second topic now, where we are going to be talking about how Blizzard are losing players. So, according to Blizzard's latest financial results, it reveals that 2 million players were lost across several games in 3 months. So, according to the figures, there were 29 million players in February, which was the fourth quarter of 2020, and it dropped to 27 million this quarter. So, 11 million players were lost in total in the last 3 years, but their revenue is still increasing. And it seems that obviously, right, I'm just gonna say this, right? I can see why Blizzard are losing players because Overwatch. I'm sorry, but Overwatch is just no. I don't like Overwatch anymore. It just got boring. It got very, very boring. World of Warcraft, fair enough. That's still a big game. It's still quite popular. But honestly, I don't know too many games that Blizzard actually make. I know Activision make a lot of games, but Blizzard themselves, not a clue. And I think maybe new games might help them gain a little bit more popularity, maybe get a few more people back, like Overwatch 2, which is, again, something I have no idea why they want an Overwatch 2. I don't understand why they aren't just going to keep the main game, but hey, that's their choice. But new games, I think, would definitely bring players back. But otherwise, I don't know. I really don't know. Blizzard are just, I guess Blizzard are boring. And I know people are going to shoot me for that, but Blizzard are just not. I haven't heard of Blizzard in years, honestly, in terms of new games. Activision, yes, Activision we hear all the time with the latest Call of Duties and the latest Call of Duties and the latest Call of Duties. Over to you, David.
To be honest, I've never really played an Overwatch game. An Overwatch game. A Blizzard game. Maybe apart from like one or two games of like Overwatch, with a friend. But like apart from that, I've never really played it. But I do know, like in the last, like if you go back maybe 10 years, maybe a bit more, actually no, 10 years I'd say. Blizzard were running the game, absolutely killing the game when it came to the video game industry. And it seems like the only reason they've fallen off is because A, microtransactions, but also because I don't really think people want to play those games anymore, you know? As you said, like they've not really tried to stay current with the times. They didn't put out a battle royale when the battle royale thing was going off like 5 years ago, and of course, like you could say, oh well, the battle royale, that genre is cringe, and like everybody was putting out a game. Yeah, and a lot of people are doing really well because of it. We were talking about this before we started recording. Apex Legends has been going on for 9 seasons, and it's been pretty consistent throughout those seasons, I'd say, apart from maybe season 7, I guess. Fortnite, again, pretty consistent. They've made a huge following, ties with a bunch of incredibly big companies. But like I didn't see Blizzard come out with a single game, and Overwatch is basically they've not changed it. It seems like they just keep adding. I don't know if they keep adding like new legends or whatever they call like agents maybe. I don't. As I said, I don't really play a lot of Overwatch, but it doesn't seem like there's a new game out or anything. Like it seems like that game's kind of died out. So to be honest, it just seems like they're killing themselves. If you know what I mean. And I mean, I guess you could argue that this sort of genre of gaming is coming back with because of Valorant, and a lot of people playing CS:GO now for some reason. So I mean, they might get a lot more people playing Overwatch, but honestly, they should just put out a new Overwatch game. I don't know what they called it or what they do with it, but they just need to put something new out. To be honest, it just seems like because it kind of just seems like they're doing a Epic and they're just updating the main source of income, putting a bunch of like microtransactions in it, and then just waiting.
Yeah, it's like as you say, like if you're not gonna put out anything new, then you're not gonna gain players. And again, I think you mentioned CS:GO, which is obviously a Valve game, and again, Valve haven't made games in years. Like I think the most recent Valve game is Half-Life Alyx, and Half-Life Alyx was a VR game, I believe, which was not even, it wasn't even like a proper like full Half-Life game, if I'm correct. I don't know. But I know it was, yeah, it again, they just didn't they haven't made games in years, and I'm surprised that people are still playing their games. I mean, TF2, fair enough, but CS:GO, I mean, I've seen the graphics for CS:GO. I don't know whether it's just the things I've seen, but the graphics don't look amazing. But yeah, it's, if you're not going to put out new things, then you're not going to gain new players. So maybe Blizzard and Valve, both of them should start making new games. Looking at you, Valve, for a Team Fortress 3. But otherwise, that is the end of that topic. So on to our third topic now, where we are going to be talking about Gamescom 2021 and digital-only events. So, there were plans for Gamescom to be a hybrid show this year with in-person demo stations. However, in a tweet from on the 5th of May, Gamescom announced that they are going to go digital only, which is good news as it means it's free of charge to attend, and the show will be starting on the 25th of August and ending on the 27th of August. The change was explained by Gamescom, and they said many of its partners were unable to dedicate themselves to a live physical presence, which given the current pandemic, it's understandable. And another potential reason as well is Gamescom is usually hosted in Germany, and only 8.3% of their population is currently vaccinated, which means that there are probably going to be more infections if they went there. So, that makes a lot lot more indoor gatherings and stuff. Really risky. So very sensible there from the organizers. What else is different this year? Well, there'll be an even larger focus on games, and hopefully there's going to be more of a community atmosphere. And other events, such as Apple's event a couple weeks ago now, they also took a similar approach, and with the Apple Silicon launch and the release of the new iMac's AirTag and more. And it's not just them that are doing that as well. We also have the Crunchyroll Expo as well, which is online online as well. So I know that's happening relatively soon. But yeah, it's in terms of digital only events, like a lot of companies been doing this. As I said, Crunchyroll, Apple, Funko, they've been doing them recently, as the Emerald City Comic Con normally happens, but unfortunately that had to move online this year, and they were slowly releasing and teasing which Funko Pops they were going to release this year, so that's fun. But yeah, it seems that a lot of these companies are going for online only, digital only events, because hey, that's the way it's going to be. Because honestly, it makes sense. People want these events to happen. People want to continue going to these events, but at the same time, if it's going to be dangerous and potentially fatal, people aren't going to want to go in physical places. And it's also just very irresponsible, I think, of any organizer to say that it's okay to go to these events at this current point in time. Also, I'm just going to say these events, the ones that I've seen, are actually pretty well organized. They're pretty decent considering they're online. A lot of people think that they're just a little cheap shop money grab, but like cash grabs, but they're not, because a lot of these are actually free to attend. So yeah. So Harry, what are your opinions on this then?
I think it's a good idea to do online versions because, well, during this time, as you said, nobody's going to risk it, or well, people who are going to risk it are the people who are vaccinated. Where the events normally are held, not many of them are, so I can understand that. And as you said that some people think of it as like a money grab, and you said that quite a lot of them are free. I find it really irritating that people would say, "Oh, they're just doing it because they want more money." They just want to do it to give something back to the community, or trying to get something more, make it more normal again.
What do you think about this, David?
To be honest, I've been interested in going to one of these events before, but obviously with the paying and travel, it never seems to work out. Or not PAX, but I know there's a few that are held sometimes in England, and I'm not allowed ever, so that sucks. But with it being online, this is really good, especially for like people who just don't go out and don't want to go to crowded areas with a bunch of people, but they do want to go to a conference. This is perfect for people like that. And to be honest, I'm pretty excited. I'm not sure how they're gonna sort out the showing of games and just like the demo, because I know at a lot of these conventions they allow people to just like lay sort of betas, like short demos of new upcoming games. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do that with this and how that's gonna work out. But I'm probably gonna go attend at least one. Probably attend a couple that have my interests. But I just don't get how they're gonna do the convention side of this convention. You know what I mean? Because that's gonna be very difficult to do. Obviously digitally, but they're able to pull it off. This would be great. I mean, hopefully next year everything will be back to normal, so we won't be doing this again. But to be honest, if worse comes to worse and we do have to do this again, then at least they'll have sorted out their kinks, right?
So that brings us to our break, and after the break we are going to be talking about Haven Entertainment and the Stadia developers, the Apple versus Epic Games lawsuit, and we will be having a broader discussion about Epic Games. We will see you after the break. And we are back after that short break, and we are now going to be talking about the Apple versus Epic Games lawsuit. So this is the biggest court case going on at the moment, and it is a court battle between Epic and Apple after Fortnite was removed from the App Store back in 2020. It prevents 116 million of the 350 million players updating the game. And this this has been taken to both the courts in the US, Australia, UK, and European courts. So yeah, it's a lot of lawsuits going on there. Currently, other games using Unreal Engine are available, although this could change if Epic loses. So what caused Apple to pull Fortnite? Well, this is because Apple allowed players to buy V-Bucks and bypass the App Store in the process, which means that Apple missed out on their revenue cut. So basically what they did is you have to go through the App Store, because when you go through the App Store, the any purchases that have been made go through Apple and they take their cut, and then Epic Games get their cut as well. However, what Epic actually did is they installed their own payment system, which meant that you didn't go through Apple and you went through them instead, meaning that Epic were able to take all of the money from the transaction, as opposed to Apple taking that, I believe, 30% profit. So yeah, the arguments from both sides. Epic launched #FreeFortnite, which protests against Apple's 30% cut of the App Store purchases, and they claim that Apple's policies are restrictive and lead to a monopoly, and they want to open up the doors to non-App Store apps on iOS devices. So the monopoly is when one company has the majority over all the others. So for example, let's use gaming companies as an example. So let's say that Epic Games then bought all of the major gaming companies like Take-Two and Activision. That means that because they have all these major gaming companies, they can change the prices to whatever they want and people will pay for them, because all of the other smaller companies will be forced out, and they'll either be undercut or the other things will be overpriced. And basically it means that there's no room for people to compete, meaning that these majorities can just get away with whatever they want. However, Apple, on the other hand, are claiming that Epic violated an agreement which was made between the two companies. And the dates of these courts, in the US, it started on the 3rd of May in 2021, and is likely to continue for a long time. No dates have been announced for the Australia and the UK and Europe yet. However, the fight is likely to continue throughout 2021 and 2022. So this is going to be a very long and arduous process. Now, Epic have also been sued by Apple, and not by Apple. Epic and Google are both suing each other as well, because Google then removed Epic from their App Store, from the Google Play Store, which is a slightly different case, which I think is actually Epic's fault. However, in terms of Apple, I think Apple really do deserve what they're going to get. And the reason I say that is because Apple only have one app store. As on Android, you can download different app stores. Like you got the Samsung, you got the Galaxy Store, you got the Google Play Store, which is the one that people use the most. And then you've got a way of downloading third-party apps onto your device, onto your Android device, which can be Epic Games launcher, which is what I originally downloaded Fortnite on mobile. So you can still play Fortnite on Android, but on iOS you can't download third-party applications, and you can only get stuff that goes through the App Store. And that means that there is no way of any of these other stores challenging the monopoly. So I think that's a very fair case for Epic. However, the fact that they knowingly breached the terms of service, I don't think is going to help their case at all. But yeah, I think that Epic have a relatively strong case. The fact that it hasn't been thrown out by the US courts when it went into the preliminary stages, the fact that it went to trial means that the judge clearly does think that there is something there. Although it seems that the judge is actually quite skeptical of Epic's argument of the monopoly, and obviously Epic will not only have to prove that Apple have the monopoly, but that they're abusing their power, and they're abusing the public's trust. So that is going to be a very hard win for them. But, I reckon they're in with a shot, but who knows? But I wish Epic Games the best of luck in the lawsuit against Apple. However, I don't know too much about whether Google versus Epic has been thrown out yet. But I don't think they should win the Google lawsuit, because I think violating their terms of service when they fought so hard to get onto the Google Play Store, then they violated the terms of service, and yeah, I don't know. That one was a little bit bad on their part. But hey, I don't know how much you guys know about the lawsuit or how closely you've been following any of this. But Harry, what do you think of this major lawsuit?
I'm split because I can see both sides of the argument. I can see if okay, so the stuff that Apple have been saying, I can understand and all of that. But then on Epic's side as well, how they're monopolizing this and they're not allowing any third party applications. I can understand both. It's just I don't know which I would hope wins because Epic, as much as I dislike them, as much as I dislike one of their games, them as a company, they're not bad company. I don't mind them. They're okay. Apple is the same. I dislike quite a few of their products, mainly because of one small factor, but the rest of it is actually pretty good because a lot of it is better than a lot of things. I do hope that neither of them use some sort of sleazy tactic to win because if they do, quite a lot of people are gonna just lose faith in them, and whoever loses will also have their faith. Will have the community's faith loss. Like they'll lose their faith in them. So this is going to be a difficult and big battle, I'd say.
I completely agree. David, what do you think about this lawsuit?
It seems like Epic violated a agreement in the clause and are now suffering the consequences. I don't understand what seems to be the issue because they signed the contract, which means they read the policies and they were fine with it before, but now that they've been caught out on bypassing these policies, it just seems like Epic are trying to rally against a company, sure, who are very evil and they make a bunch of money and it's like terrible. But to be honest, you signed the contract, you read the policies already. It's not like it was hidden from you, you know? So for you to then get up and start complaining that they're restrictive just seems like, well, why did you sign the contract? Why didn't you negotiate better terms? I don't understand what happened there.
I mean, that is fair enough. I mean, yeah, the fact that they willingly broke these terms of service, and it wasn't as if they did it accidentally. They knew exactly what they were doing. So, so clearly, that's something that's going to impact their case. And on those grounds, I don't think they'll win. I wish them the best of luck, but I don't think they're going to win on the grounds that they did willingly and knowingly. You know, they broke these terms of service, which was an illegal agreement between the two companies. However, the argument that they bring up, I think, is the more important thing, and I think that's what they were trying to raise awareness of. And the the thing is, like a lot of people were saying about console and that, and how, you know, console take profits and all that, which again, you know, it's a fair argument, but in terms of mobile, Apple really do hold a majority. They do hold this massive kind of bargaining chip, but hey, we'll see how it goes in the future. Moving on to our Let's Talk then, which is again about Epic Games. Epic Games are very, very, you know, they are a great company in terms of the games that they've made. They have a long list of games. I mean, they've recently bought Mediatonic, who are the creators of Fall Guys. They have bought Psyonix, who are the creators of Rocket League. They have made Fortnite, Battle Royale, Save the World, beautiful game, and then Fortnite Creative again. But yeah, I mean, they also make games such as Robo Recall, which is a game that you don't hear much about, and also Battle Breakers, again, a very good game for those people that like turn-based games. But one thing that's on our list here, right, is called Rocket League Sideswipe. Now, I did a little bit of research on that, and it turns out that it's actually a Rocket League mobile game, and not gonna lie, it actually looks pretty good. The alpha footage looks really good, but yeah, I mean, that is really cool, honestly. But I think Epic Games, they were the first ones to do full cross-platform, which was a very big step in terms of what we can do now, which is why we now have cross-play between all consoles and PC and that with Apex, which is, you know, really, really cool. And just in general, a lot of crossplay games now, a lot of games now crossplay thanks to Epic Games, and that's something really important. However, Epic Games aren't the lovely company that they make themselves out to be, as Fortnite Save the World is just a massive example of a company getting really greedy, because I have gone on about this multiple times and I will say it time and time again. Save the World is a great great game, but Epic Games have not added any new original content that hasn't been recycled or repurposed for a good year or two. And I'm not on about like, oh, Robo Ray, because that's a new thing that's just come out. Oh, look, Ray's got a body. Let's add in a couple voice lines and a little mini quest. That's not what we're on about. We're meaning full scale quest lines. That is what we're waiting for. Full scale quest lines and like a Twine Peaks storyline. Epic, they've gone on they have claimed on Discord, one of the Epic employees claimed on Discord that they never promised us a Twine Peaks storyline. Now, when you piss off a community, when you piss off an entire fan base, they will drag you down with them. And oh my god, they got absolutely bombarded with all the broken promises about the Twine Peaks storyline. And they promised a while back that they were going to add a separate item shop for Save the World. That was something they were going to do. It was going to be you purchase things, I believe, with gold, and then you can use them in both Battle Royale and Save the World, which would have been pretty cool. Another fan thing was a legendary pickaxe, because our pickaxes, when you fully upgraded them, used to be legendary. However, that's now been downgraded to uncommon because they added it in Battle Royale. Thanks very much for that, Epic. And Penny was supposed to be a skin that we were all gonna get. Everyone was like, oh, we should get Penny because that's a Save the World skin. Nope, we didn't get Penny. That went straight into the item shop. And Kyle hasn't been released yet, and hopefully we'll get that, but I doubt we will because Epic Games are money hungry. However, they have, when we thought they'd just given up on Save the World, they suddenly added Fortnite Crew. And this month in Fortnite Crew, they have added, which again, just quickly off to the side, Fortnite Crew is a paid subscription service, which gives you the Battle Pass, a free skin, free air quotes, skin, and it gives you now Save the World, which is just very sad considering a lot of us paid a lot of money for that game. And yeah, well, boo-hoo. But yeah, I mean, it's at least now that they've added it to Fortnite Crew, it means that a lot more people will be able to play the game. A lot more people will be able to experience and enjoy the game like a lot of us have. But yeah, honestly, it's hopefully, if Epic Games can milk Save the World for just a little bit longer, then hopefully we can enjoy the game for a little bit longer, because honestly, we were expecting a server shutdown this year. Now that they've added it to Fortnite Crew, that gives it another, I guess, 2 years left of life until Epic Games decide that they've finally milked their fan base dry and they can't do anything else, and that's when Save the World will shut down. But that could be me being very pessimistic, or it could just be me describing Epic Games absolutely perfectly. But I don't know how you guys feel about Epic Games. I mean, David, what do you think about Epic?
I've lost all interest in Save the World. I think when I first started playing Fortnite, I was saving up money to buy Save the World. Thank God I completely forgot about that because it just seems like it's all fallen off. I don't really like the company. And I don't know if it's because I feel like they keep putting money in a game that a lot of people just have lost interest in. Like I know I've lost interest in it. And I know a lot of people who defend Fortnite say, "Oh no, loads of people still play it, like 2 million." Well, but how many of those 2 million people are like 8 years old, and clinging on to something that they think is fun when in actuality it's like terrible. I think the new update with the new primitive guns is pretty cool, but it's gonna lose in the long run. And I think I saw a video by Cypher PK talking about how now there's just nothing new that they can add that would interest him or a lot of like other people to go back and play. It's just run its course, and they need to think of something soon. I'll be honest, the Robo Recall thing, that looks interesting. That looks good. They should start pushing that instead of Fortnite, because honestly, if they fix that up, that could maybe be pretty insane. Same with the Rocket League side swipe. I think we've been waiting for a Rocket League mobile game for like forever, it seems like. But now Epic have come in and they've helped make this so cool. Battle Breakers, I've not really taken the time to go into it, but if it seems like if you play Legends of Runeterra, you might enjoy this. It seems like it's sort of just a turn taking. You just take a turn doing bloody attacks and stuff like that. They're just a pretty straightforward game. But yeah, I just have no interest in Fortnite anymore. And honestly, because of that, I also have no interest in Epic. So unless they come out with something huge, I'm not gonna really mess with anything.
Over to you, Harry.
Yeah, so Epic Games as a company, cool, but their games like Rocket League, that and the mobile game, I think that'll be really good. The Fortnite, I've lost interest. I hate it. I would say that's probably because of one, player base, and two, the fact that I've been playing it for about close to a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So I probably played it too much. So I don't like it. And David, you said something about, was it? I've forgotten which of you said it, but it was like I think primitive guns, was it?
Yeah, they added like these new
Yeah.
like bone weapons or something like that.
That's interesting. I don't know if I'd play the game because of that or whatever else they've done. And to what Marcus said about Save the World, they've either recycled content or just haven't put anything in for how long was it? A year, maybe 2 years?
Updates with decent content that the fan base will
Decent
actually
like
accept.
storylines
Yeah,
and stuff.
I mean we
Yeah.
we had a pretty major update a little while ago, but that was about the most recent update. So
Mm.
yeah, we went for about a full year without anything actual decent.
It's the only two games that I'd say are the like biggest in Epic Games' lineup would be Fortnite Battle Royale and then Rocket League. And well, Rocket League that's still got a lot it can do. And the fact that Fortnite has got nothing and they have to really start thinking about what they can put in, you can really see that it's gone to the end of its life.
So what do you think? Like, do you think that's it for Epic then?
For Epic, I don't think this is it. I think it's the end of like a specific game, but Epic will probably make another game or continue with a different game and keep on going. So
That brings us to the end of our episode. If you would like to see more of us, you can go find us over on Twitter and Instagram at MindsOfPeoplePC. We also have a YouTube channel, which is the same name as the podcast, and you can go find us over there. And we'd appreciate it if you went and gave us a like and subscribe, because like a couple of our videos, it really does help. We'll get there eventually. Also, we would appreciate it if you hit the notification bell, both on YouTube and also over on Spotify as well, to get notified every time we drop a brand new episode. And we also have a website which you can find linked in the description down below, and we constantly update that website so you can have a look at our featured episodes that we think might be good for you if you're stuck on anything you don't know what to watch. And we also just have some general things on that website too. We also have a Discord server which we would love for you to join. We've added a couple more channels now, so we can engage with you guys a little bit more, talk to you about films, TV, movies, games and all that. And we would love for you to come join us over here, because we've got a really friendly, nice community. And that is about it. So just before I go, I'd like to thank our hosts for today, David and Harry. Thank you both for joining me today.
No problem.
I'm thanking you for allowing me to be here.
We'd also like to thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Peace.
Bye.